guys, welcome to a very special edition of All Things Action Videocast. Today we're going to be doing something, you could call it giving back to the community. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a basic oil change on a vehicle. Raiden, how's it going, dude?
Good.
Good. Are you excited?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is like, hold on. Before you see, you're just jumping in. Before you get into this is like Raiden's favorite man thing to do, guy thing to do. But it's very important to know that anybody can do this. Not just men, not just women, not just dogs, not just cats. Everyone can do this so long as you know what you're doing. This is going to be something that you can do that can save you a lot of money. So anytime that you can actually take care of any kind of maintenance on your vehicle yourself, you can save anywhere from $5 to $5,000. I've done several things myself that afterwards I kick myself for not having a professional do it, but I wind up saving a lot of money and learning a lot from the experience. So never shy away from it, especially oil changes. They're way too simple to not do yourself. You're gonna save money either way. So we're gonna take you through the steps. But the first thing to know is, what do you need for an oil change? So Raiden, let's start with the basics. You got to go to the store.
Yeah.
And you got to purchase.
Yeah, you gotta purchase.
What's the first thing you got to purchase?
You gotta have to purchase oil.
Some kind of oil.
But it depends on vehicles, cause we're gonna first do my mom's car, which takes 5W30.
Actually, that's one the 5W20.
Oh, 5W20.
Yeah. Anyway, you got to purchase oil. Now, if you're trying to figure out where and what kind of oil to get for your car and how much you need, it's going to be in your owner's manual. Just look in the back in the glossary under oil, and it's going to show you everything you need as far as the viscosity and the amount that your actual oil reservoir can take in your car. Typically nowadays they sell 5 quarts in the big jug. That's going to take care of most cars. Big trucks might be a little bit different. The next thing you want to do is purchase your
Oil filter.
oil filter. This is the thing that is of
The most probably important.
Sure, yeah, this is what cleans the oil in the car as it passes through in the engine. So to do that, a lot of places that you go to have books that you can thumb through and find the make and model and year of your car. But nowadays it's just as easy to pull out your smartphone and just type in, if you're looking like this particular one, not to drop any publicity for these guys, but Purolator. All I did was just type in Purolator oil filter, and it came right up to its online catalog, and I was able to just hit 3 buttons and find exactly the right kind of oil filter that I needed for this car and the other car we're going to be working on. So very cool.
Yeah,
The
we're
other thing- yeah.
gonna work on 2 cars.
Yeah, the other thing you're going to probably need more than anything
a whole set of
is a ratchet set or a wrench set, and make sure that you pay attention to whether it's your standard SAE or your metric underneath your car. Just because it's an American made car doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go with the SAE measurements, which is the inch measurements. A lot of times those cars actually use foreign hardware on there. So the other thing, always good to have,
paper towel.
paper towel and a trash can somewhere close, just when things get messy. And always paramount, but purchase yourself an oil drain bucket. These things,
Tire bucket.
yeah, these things are about $15–20 at any auto parts store.
Auto
Walmart
parts.
might have them a little bit cheaper, but definitely something you're going to need to do and use. And make sure that you properly dispose of your oil. Most auto parts stores, you can actually take this thing all sealed up like this and just ask to have the oil dumped, and most places will actually do it for you. Some places say, yep, it's in the back, and you just go back, open up the end here on the spigot, and you just
No, paper towels.
you just open it up and drain it, and then close it up again, and you're good to go. So that's basically it. Other cars have different things that you might need to do, but for this particular oil change, we're working on a 2013 Dodge Journey. Yes, Raiden. So pretty basic car, pretty basic American car, sport utility vehicle, and we're gonna get started, guys. So we'll try to take this step by step, take it nice and slow, and kind of talk through the process. Hopefully you guys learned something, and
hopefully next time you have to do an oil change, you do it.
Yeah, and you can reference this. Like I said, most oil changes are pretty par for the course, especially with American cars.
Using a dolly is a really good way to move around your car when you're under it. Next, I want to put my oil drum where my oil tank is. Right here? Or more over?
Well, so this is a good thing to talk about. So this is your oil tank, right?
Yeah.
And right here, there's a little nut, and that's where the oil is going to come out. That's where we're going to use our ratchet to back that out, and then the oil is going to drain down into our oil drum.
Yeah, but should
So
it be like
in the
here?
inside of the oil drum, there's a little plug right here, so we need to back that out and set it here. The other thing is, usually they have an actual like air pop off, so you want to pull that off. So now you're not going to get bubbling once the oil starts dripping into the pan.
Alright.
Okay?
Okay.
And just for reference, there's the oil filter back there.
Old oil filter.
Yep. Alright guys, so we got our oil drain here right underneath where our bolt is that we're going to back out. I've got my ratchet, and it has the 13 millimeter. Like I said, sometimes American cars have foreign hardware on it, so pay attention to that. And I'm going to make sure that I've got it set to back out. I'm going to slowly but forcefully pull it here. Sometimes you got to rock it back and forth. And sometimes you got to smack it like that, and then it loosens, okay? So now we're loose. Make sure you have a paper towel, so if you get a little on you, it's not a big deal. I like to back my oil drum back just a little bit, and then manually pull that bolt out. Now, good note of caution, don't do this when you've been driving the car a lot. You want the engine to cool down so it doesn't burn you. We slowly take that oil out. There it goes. I usually clean my bolt off. I set it off to the side. We let the oil drain. As that begins to slow down, you just keep pulling your oil drum closer to the front and for this car, that actually helps immensely because now I'm going to change the oil filter up here. So I'm just going to grab it with two hands and turn it clockwise. And slowly, because there's going to be oil in it, let that oil kind of drain off into our drum. I still have my trusty paper towel here. And once I feel like I can start to twist it a little bit more, I do. Keep a little pressure towards the top while you're twisting it. It won't accidentally fall off onto you while you're pulling it off, so keep that in mind. If you hear a lot of noise, it's Raiden moving around by the camera too, by the way. Alright, so
And barely making noise.
there's the oil filter. We're just going to set that in there. We're just going to let everything kind of drain off now. And then when everything's stopped, kind of come to a nice drip, then we know that our oil tank is empty. And then we can start with step 2. So a couple of things to remind you guys also is always wear old clothing.
Yes.
Just because even the cleanest oil change, you're going to get dirty. It's just kind of par for the course. Always remember that you need to shut the car off when you're doing an oil change. That would be a terrible thing to leave your car running while you're doing your oil change for multiple reasons. Number one, once you pull all the oil out, your car, the interior of the engine, kind of lives and dies. It's the blood of your engine, the oil is. So it'd be like doing a transfusion and telling somebody to go up and run a marathon when they don't have any blood in their body. So not a good thing. The other thing too is if you can get a hold of some ramps, that's an easy way to get the car up and elevated off the ground so you can do the work underneath the car. But if you use that parking brake and use jacks and make sure that everything's secured on one side where the oil tank is, you should be fine just using that instead. But I like using ramps, and I was able to pick some up for like a couple of bucks at a garage sale. So always something to be on the lookout for when you're at the garage sales or out and about. I would guess they're probably about 50 bucks at a hardware store if you had to buy them brand new. A dolly is probably going to run you about 20 bucks. You don't necessarily need to. It's just easier, like Raiden showed you earlier, to get in and out from underneath the car. So cool stuff, dude.
Yep.
Sounds like and looks like there's no more oil coming out from underneath
So
the
now
car.
we can begin step 2.
Yeah. Go ahead.
With a clean paper towel, we're gonna wipe down and clean the oil filter
Housing.
housing. Sorry. With the paper towel.
Yeah. Go ahead. So when you do this, just make sure you get all of the old oil off of the housing. Try not to bring any new contaminants from the outside. And you want to make sure you go over the threads really well, because that's what's going to thread on the new filter.
As you can see, these are not my hand.
So there we go. Nice and
Alright.
clean, ready to go.
So now you should have this if you follow those steps, right?
Yep.
When you do it.
So Raiden, explain what we're going to do next.
So now we have all that done. So now you should open your car oil.
Just a little bit though.
Just
right
a
now,
little
right?
bit for right now.
Just a little bit, kind of like that. Just pop a little bit on the top.
And now we
Raiden's going to get his oil filter
take
out.
the car's oil
Okay.
filter. And you should have it like this. Perfect. Like this. And now we take the...
Do you know what this is?
The rim.
This is a gasket.
We have to take that gasket off.
Right. So you want to take your gasket out of your oil filter if it's got that.
And now you should pour...
Now what do we do? With a clean hand.
With a clean hand.
Yeah, we take a little bit of oil in our hand, just like that. Okay?
And then take your...
See? Just that little bit right there. Just enough to kind of sauce up the inside of your palm. And then you're going to take your gasket. Here, move your hand. And you're going to just...
Spin it.
Yeah. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a good coat of oil all over that gasket. So you want to get the inside of the gasket and the outside of the gasket. Okay? Once you do that, without having too much on your hand, you're just going to take that and you're going to push it back in to your filter. Simple as that.
And
I like to just take my clean finger, kind of go around one last time like that, so we get a nice even seal there. And that's what we're going to put onto the housing, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So now that we have it all greased up or whatever, I'm gonna put it on and I'm gonna turn it counterclockwise. Does this look tight?
Yeah.
Tight? Is it tight enough?
So, Raiden asked, is it tight enough? And really,
I can't really
what you
turn
want to
it
do
anymore.
is you want to just make sure it's hand tight. Now, Raiden's hands aren't quite as strong as mine, but I'm going to tough it up like that.
That's because
that's
I'm
it.
little.
Now, a good thing to do is actually date the day that you're changing the oil filter, just so you kind of have that for your records, but that's kind of an optional thing, just something I've gotten into the habit of doing. Alright, so Raiden, we're down here anyway. The oil's basically stopped, so why don't we move this away, our oil drain, and now we can take our plug and we can put it back in, and you can still see it's dripping a little bit. That's okay. And now we're just going to hand tighten it back in. And then take our
Paper towel
and clean it up just a little bit.
It kind of looks like you're bleeding right there.
Yeah, it's just oil though.
Yeah, I know. But that's what it looks like.
Alright, so we're tightening, we're tightening, we're tightening. And then we're just going to take our ratchet, switch it to the other way so that we're tightening, and then we're just going to tighten. Like I said, you want to make sure it's tight, but you don't want to strip out your bolt there. So that's it. We are officially done underneath the car. Make sure you clean up any mess you have underneath the car. Hopefully you didn't get too much. I got just a little bit there at the end, and that's okay. Kitty litter works really well for taking care of that. Any kind of absorbent works pretty well too. So that's it. What we'll do with our drum is we'll pull it out from underneath. We'll put the cap back in the middle, and we'll put the air plug back down, and then it's ready to be taken to recycling. All right, Bear, we're on the home stretch, right?
Yep.
You're getting hungry. Things are getting real. So, a couple of things we need to do, guys. Basically, everything's buttoned up down underneath. We're under the hood now. This is the engine, and you got a engine oil cap, and conveniently on there it says exactly what kind of engine oil we're going to need, which is the 5W20. So we're going to put that over to the side. Raiden, you going to grab the oil?
Yeah.
Alright, the other thing that really comes in handy when you're doing an oil change is a funnel, and you're going to drop that in where the oil goes. We're going to take our oil, and remember that little point that we popped, we're going to finally pull that back and slowly but surely pour in all of the new oil, okay? Alright guys, we're just going to remove the funnel. Try not to get any of that excess oil in there, but you saw that it was much cleaner than the old stuff. We're going to put the cap back on, make sure you twist it down. And guys, that's basically it. That's how you change the oil. Once you turn the car on and get it off the jack or get it off the ramp, make sure that you come back into your engine and look at the dipstick. It should read that everything's right where it needs to be. You may have to add more. You usually don't have to take any out, but if you for some reason would have to, you just drain a little off the bottom and you'd be good. That's basically it, guys. Hopefully, it's hard to do this. And you get to see my bald spot. That's awesome. Anyway, Bear, get up here. Tell everybody what you think.
So, I think that sometimes that for cars like this, it can be complicated, but we're gonna do another car. Hopefully you guys don't get super hungry like me.
Because you're hungry like the wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had fun, right?
Yep.
Good. Well guys, for All Things Action Videocast, this has been a special how-to presentation, how to change the oil on your car. Hopefully this helps. If you know somebody who could use a hand doing some simple oil change, please refer them to this YouTube show, right?
Channel.
Exactly. For another week of All Things Action Videocast, I'm Dad, aka Aaron, and with me as always,
Aiden, aka The Bear.
all right, we'll see you later.
Bye.